So they've played 22 games. So if we beat Everton, we're 9 points clear with 16 games left. Let's look at the Arsenal fixtures coming up. Wolves away. They'll be expected to win that. But I don't think it'll be an easy one for them. I really don't think it'll be an easy one. Especially if they're going to be without William Saliba. Because when they don't have Saliba, they can't play the 4 centre-backs. Because Timber has to play in the middle. So Thomas Partey has to play at right back. So that weakens them in defence and it weakens them in midfield. Because without Partey, they're not nearly as good in that defensive midfield role. Because Rice just doesn't like playing there. He's not good enough in that role. And as dreadful a set of lads as Thomas Partey is, he is, to his credit, an outstanding footballer in that position. Then they're home to City. I don't think that's going to be a win for them. I think they drop points. Now, I think they beat Arsenal. Let's say a draw with City. Then they go to Leicester. You'd expect them to win. Then West Ham at home. They should win that. And they should win that quite comfortably. But if Bowen is back, and they have Bowen and Kudus and Paqueta, and maybe they have a number 9 in by then, and Graham Potter will have had, the better part of 5 weeks to work with those players, maybe they give Arsenal some trouble. Then they go to Forest. Now, Forest could capitulate between now and then. But I don't think they will. I still don't think they'll get top 4, but I don't think there'll be a capitulation. It might just be that they draw games that they were winning earlier in the season. I could see them drawing with Arsenal. Then they go to United. And again, that's a game I can see them dropping points in. And I know United are awful. Like, they are genuinely atrocious. I still think United at home against Arsenal, Amorim against Arteta, I think United can take a point there. And then they play Chelsea at home. And it really wouldn't surprise me if they drop points in that one. Now, I'm not saying they'll definitely drop points in those 3 in a row, but it wouldn't surprise me if they drop points in 2 of them. So let's say they lose 1 and draw 1 and win 1. So they take 4 points from that 9. You give them 3 against West Ham, 3 against Leicester. There's 10. 1 against City is 11. And 3 against Wolves is 14. So that's 14 points. Is that right? 3, 4, 7, 10. Yeah, let's say 14 points from the next 8 games. That's a disappointing run, obviously. But that takes them up to 29 games played. It's 14 from the next 7 games. I can't count. It's 14 from the next 7 games. That takes them to 29 games played. That's the point in which they're expected to get Bukayo Saka back. After that Chelsea game. He's expected back because we go on an international break. So he's expected back for Fulham at the earliest. Now, fair play, they might run the table. They go Fulham home, Everton away, Brentford home, Ipswich away, Crystal Palace home, Bournemouth home. They may well win all of them. But then they have to come to Anfield. And I think we beat them. Then they play Newcastle home, and I think Toon go there and get a point. And then they'll beat Southampton on the final day. So we had 14, that would be 17, 20, 23, 26, 29, 32. Although Bournemouth could get something. 32. That's 35 points Arsenal would take the rest of the way. That gets them to 79 points for the season. That means we need only win 10 more games. We'll beat Ipswich. Bournemouth away is very tough. Maybe that's a draw. We're going to go and beat Everton. We're going to beat Wolves at home. That gives us 10. That's a third of the way to, I think, what we'll need. I think 80 could win it this year, genuinely. Now, Arsenal might get 82. They might get 84. But they need to improve. They don't look like improving. City away will take a draw. I think we beat Newcastle home. I think we beat Southampton away. I think we go to Villa Park and win. And then I think we beat Everton home. From 15 games, that's 13 points. Fulham away, I think we win. West Ham home, I think we win. Leicester away, I think we win. Tottenham home, we win. That's a long run of wins, which we haven't shown ourselves to be capable. So let's throw in a draw against Villa instead. So that will bring us down to 11 to 21, 24, 27, 30, 33. By beating Spurs, that'll be 33. Draw away to Chelsea, 34. Beat Arsenal home, 37. That would be 87 points. Let's say we lose away to Brighton because the title's wrapped up and who cares? And we beat Palace at home. That would be Liverpool on 90 points. That would be Liverpool on 90 points. That would be us winning our game in hand and only gaining 2 extra points on Arsenal the rest of the way. And I don't think that's unrealistic. I don't think it's unreasonable. I actually think it might be a little bit conservative. I could see them giving up. Not outwardly, but I think psychologically I could see them just collapsing and they could lose a bunch of games. Not a bunch, but you know what I mean. I think we're going to win this title. I really do. It's still obviously too early to get too excited. And we have to navigate this Bournemouth Everton back-to-back away is tough. And Aaron is going to have to manage the squad because we've got other games in and amongst that. Even though that's the 1st and 12th, we have Plymouth on the 9th. Now, the great thing there is that's a rest everybody game. Nobody of importance needs to play in that game. We've obviously got the Spurs second leg to factor in as well. That's what I think we will go full strength in. And then there'd be a League Cup final in there somewhere. Whatever date that League Cup final is due to be. Hang on. The League Cup final is the 16th of March, which would mean that Liverpool Aston Villa gets pushed. So it'll get pushed back to a later date. Now, again, I don't think that game is going to play huge relevance. I think there's enough points for us. I think this run is a lot more favourable than people have made out. Our home games, Ipswich, Wolves, Newcastle is tough. Southampton, Everton, West Ham, Spurs, Crystal Palace. They should all be wins. And I think we should beat Newcastle as well. But even if we draw, I don't think it's the end of the world. And the Arsenal one is tough, but I think it'll be over by then. And I think we'll beat them anyway. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We have 9 home games left. We have 9 home games left. We need to make Anfield a fortress for those games. No more drop points, if possible. If possible, no more drop points at home. And we'll win the league. Winning just those games will get us to 77. just the home games. If we win all our home games, that's 77 points. And then we only need to take, 10 at most from our away games. We've got 8 of them. We're in such a good position right now. That weekend was huge. It really was huge. And we battered them. Now, I will say, that game kind of highlighted why we wanted Martin Zubimendi, because our inability to progress the ball centrally became infuriating. We were so slow and ponderous in so much of our build-up. And again, we were giving the ball to Mo too wide and too deep, giving the ball to Gakpo too wide and too deep, not getting them high enough. And again, part of the problem is Luis Diaz as the 9. Now, I noticed today an article on This is Anfield. Reds take 30 shots, but should Luis Diaz be the number 9? And the answer is, in certain games, yes, he should. But in others, no. And against a deep block, absolutely not. But the hope will now be that because Darwin should have a renewed confidence that he can play against those deep blocks if Diogo Jota is not available. Now, we play Lille, obviously, in the next couple of days. And we play them tomorrow, as it is. We don't have Jota in training today. So that's the ideal game for Darwin to start. And this is an ideal game to rest a bunch of players as well, because we don't need anything from these games, really. Like, if you look at the table, there's no world, really, in which we drop out of the top 8. We've done our work. We're safe. Like, it would require everybody from Barcelona